let the room load for a second, and then we'll start. What a day. Now we're in this for a week of this nonsense. All right, so Paul gave TMZ an update, so I'm going to play that. We're going to talk about it for a hot second, and I'm going to end this live. So, give me a second to share the screen. I don't want to have to repeat myself, so I'm just going to let this room load for like another second before we get into it. And hi, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. Okay.
What exactly? Your family was really scared that you were missing. What exactly happened?
Well, I had a lot going on, and I wanted to go out and be by myself for a little bit. So there was a person who was a kind of a big fan of the show. They invited me to go out. So I got in this like a canoe type boat, went out there.
Huh? What? What did you just say?
There. Now on the way going to where we were going, kind of had a hiccup. So I got, tried to call back for help, try to get some help. They were able to rectify the situation. We got the boat going. We went up and we actually went to like a floating house. And then I actually ended up staying at a floating house for a few days.
Okay, so that's very different from what he sent his mom saying that he effed up, that he was in trouble, that he needed help, and also the same text he sent his friend saying that he was in danger and whatnot. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
I didn't have my charger or anything, so I didn't want to charge my phone. Then when I charged my phone, I had to go around the different floating houses to finally get signal to actually call.
So it sounds to me like floating houses sounds like a nice little vacay for somebody. But whatever.
It seemed like your mom was really concerned about you. It seemed like maybe you had just sent her a few messages or so, letting her know that you needed help. Why didn't you elaborate more?
It was difficult because my phone didn't have a whole lot of battery on at the time.
It was difficult, but you had no problem sending your mother those messages.
The area it wasn't the best of signal, so I couldn't really call. I was able to get text messages out. That's about all I could really do.
What do you have to say to people who think that you did this just for publicity and it's a hoax?
No, if that was the case, I would have went on an Instagram live, or I would have posted.
But Paul, you were going on back and forth on your Instagram, switching your profile from public to private, reaching out to other people during that time. So I guess that one island house was where you needed to stay. Oh my God.
Posted things. I never wanted any of this stuff to go public. None of this stuff to go public. I kept it with my mother. I had no idea my mom would go and start talking to people online and all this stuff happened the way it did. And I got back and I saw this stuff. I was like, oh, I just wanted to get away for a little bit and everything else. And then just everything just kind of blew up. But no.
So why didn't Paul say that to his mother or me on Sunday when we finally heard from him? He said, let me just rewind this a smidge so we could rehear this.
My mom would go and start talking to people online and all this stuff happened the way it did. And I got back and I saw this stuff. I was like, oh, I just wanted to get away for a little bit and everything else. And then just everything just kind of blew up. But no, I never want any of this stuff to go public.
So if he just wanted to get away for a little bit, why still late Sunday night when I had his mom on my channel, was he saying that he wasn't out of the woods yet? And he was still in danger, sleeping on a hammock. And, this, that, and the other. Because I remember, I mean, it's look at my channel. Go back when I talked to his mom on my channel. And it was very clear that Paul was telling her that he was not out of the woods yet.
Like this.
Why haven't you said anything about it on your own social media trying to clear it up?
Just with everything going on, in all honesty, I didn't want to add gasoline to all these different fires. And it seems like no matter what you say, a lot of people, these people online will twist and, twirl things around and just add gasoline. I was like, okay, I'll let everything die down. Let everybody have their fun, say whatever they want to say, speculate what they want to speculate. Everything, kind of go over, and then, I'll say my piece. But, I just don't want to add more, everybody else just jumping into the thing if it makes sense.
I don't know. When we first started looking into this, it was a way different story. I'm like a little speechless at the moment. I'm sorry. I have so many questions, but they'll never be answered. I guess at the end of the day, he's been found, and we should all be grateful. And that's what we all wanted, right? In the first place. So I guess that's a win. But, what he put his poor mother through and everybody else that gave a crap about him, unacceptable. So are we still to believe that this Issa girl was looking for him? Was that if he was, if he was just going away to this floating island situation and having a good old time by himself for a weekend. So Issa's saying that she's going from hotel to hotel, calling the police. She has friends with the police. Did that ever happen?
Well, this is
Cody just gave me a good point. So this Issa girl, what did you just say, Cody?
I said this Issa girl was the one that picked him up.
Right. So Issa was the one that picked him up, looking very well nourished and fed after 10 hours before he was sleeping in a hammock, getting eaten alive by bugs, because he was still in this island and in danger. Still in danger.
Issa she couldn't even reach out to Paul's mother or anything else like that, or to any of his friends or anything.
I talked to her and she told me that she was going around from place to place.
That's what I'm saying. But then yet she picked him up. She picked him up. That's what he said in the messages. He was in her car.
Right.
She picked him up. So she couldn't even reach out to anybody.
If this was just phone issues, why didn't Paul tell this Issa girl, which she was the first one to pick him up? Why, oh hey, tell everybody, because I was in contact with Issa.
Why couldn't she say nothing? I mean, the embassy was looking for you.
And I know that I can verify that I was on the phone with Paul's mom, and I don't think that Paul's mom had any involvement in any of this. And, I stand by that. She was worried about her son. And if Paul's mom had anything to do with this, she would certainly not be sending emails to the embassy, calling them, the Manaus PD, whatever.
And she's an older lady, like she don't have time to just make up stories, it
was Sunday night. When we heard from him, and he's still saying to Paul's mom that he's not out of the woods yet, that he's still in danger. Go back to my YouTube channel from 2-3 nights ago, and you could hear it with your own ears. And then 10 hours later, Issa picks him up in his car, and he's looking all happy and relaxed.
Meanwhile, Issa was going to hotels, not knowing that he was on floating houseboats and everything else out in the Amazon. But yet she found him, and then she brought him home, she was driving him home.
Still alluding to the fact that Paul was still in danger.
See how it doesn't make sense?
And that's why when I went live, was it, I don't know, yesterday, the day before, when the timeline and the math wasn't adding up, I'm like, this isn't adding up now. And here we are. I don't know if he would have gotten paid for the TMZ interview. I have no idea.
Don't care. Have you ever gotten paid for an interview, Joe?
Yeah. No. And I certainly don't get paid by Instagram to post. Speaking of Instagram, I'm looking at some of these comments where everybody says Carini is an angel. Like, why am I blaming Carini? I don't know, because you started it. I get that you're all team Carini and your blind loyalty to her is tantamount, but it makes you look stupid when you say, oh, Carini's got nothing to do with this. Because as I see it in the timeline, let me go back now. This was August 31st. And I had reposted Carini's story from 10 hours ago, which would put it back on the 30th. Paul went missing last night in Brazil. Prayers, he is found safe. And at that point, I was like, oh, and I've been vocal about that I thought that, oh, it's another stunt, whatever. Then she posted pregnancy stuff, blah, blah, blah. Then, about 12 hours later, she posts a thing about the life insurance and talking about her husband in past tense. And still at that point, it didn't really get much attention because everybody knows that Paul and Carini have a history with this. And it wasn't until I saw the post of Paul in past tense and Carini, I think almost a day after Carini originally posted, that I texted Paul's mom. I texted, David Tobo, David and Annie. I texted him. I said, I need Paul's mom's number because, this looks like it's serious now. So I don't understand how people are saying, don't point the finger at Carini. Does Carini take full accountability? No, but she certainly had a hand in this. Or am I crazy? Tell me. Put it in the chat. Tell me if because I feel like I'm taking crazy pills right now by people saying, oh, why are you blaming Carini, John? Oh, Carini gets some blame. Not all the blame, but she certainly gets blame. Yeah, exactly.
How long was it before she reported him missing that she posted the
Can you run over to Instagram and tell the people defending Carini that for me? Because I don't know I don't know what language to say it, but this is ridiculous.
How long was it before she started posting the life insurance? After she reported him missing?
10 hours later.
10 hours later. So she was already looking for life insurance.
Right. And pregnant.
And posting about it. Why would you post your life insurance?
I'm not trying to put all the blame on Carini, but here we are. If Carini did not start this, none of this would have happened. Right or wrong?
I mean, that's it.
Somebody had a post that Paul was missing. Who was it? It was Carini. It wasn't me. It wasn't his mom. It wasn't Cody. It wasn't Georgie.
It wasn't Hope. It wasn't Phoebe. Hell no.
Wasn't my Care Bears behind me. It was Carini.
She sure did.
So, yeah, she has to take accountability for this. I'm sorry. And then you have Carini saying, I've got nothing to do with this. What's this? Because she knows that this is going to blow up soon. See, what Paul and Carini didn't understand or didn't think of that, I'm pretty thorough when I want to be.
Smarter than what people think you are.
And, I cared for Paul and loved Paul. And he's one of my friend past tense now, not friend now. And that's why I tried so hard to help his mother trying to figure things out. And what Paul and Carini didn't see was the embassy getting involved, the police getting involved, all of it, because then it got too big for them. So then it's so funny, the timing, once word broke out that the embassy was involved and the police were involved, Carini posts, I have nothing to do with this, blah, blah, blah. Don't blame me. I take no responsibility for this. What's this, Carini?
And then he appears.
And then poof, Paul appears like Kreskin.
And this other girl finds him.
And then Issa, the one who's been searching for him for days, this 18-year-old girl that Paul is his best friend picks him up. I could care less about other YouTubers. I don't care. So Carini most certainly has something to do with this. I'm not saying she's fully to blame, but if Carini didn't light the candle, then this would have never happened. And I don't understand people saying no one should blame Carini. Like, it makes 0.00 sense to me. Sure, she doesn't get all the blame because this is another concocted story. But how I see it is that in my head, and again, I'm not judge, jury, and executioner, and this is my opinion and not based off fact, but Paul and Carini were talking. Paul had to have said something to Carini because where did Carini get that information from that he was missing? Somebody had to have told Carini that Paul was missing.
Mm-hmm.
So who told her? It wasn't Edna, his mom. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me either.
And why is no one asking her that? I'm asking it. I can't get an answer.
We still can't get answers from posts that he supposedly posted to other friends while he was missing and in danger. We still can't even get those proofs.
And I'm sorry, but you don't do this to people and then expect to get away with it. Despite me, I'm a good friend to somebody, but like when I feel like I've been taken advantage of, oh, you bet your sweet ass, I'm going to now question everything and try to find out the real truth behind it. Because you don't do this to people, because that makes you a sociopath, Paul. And that's what you are, a sociopath.
Yeah,
somebody who has no emotions or feels anything for what he's doing to other people. That's what you are.
He caused problems. We fought about this. And he don't care.
As long as it suits them.
Yep.
Who cares what other people are affected by it?
He don't care. He don't care. It has to be about him and them. That's it.
And I'm sure that Carini's not pregnant. I don't know. I don't believe anything. Her name's probably not even Carini. It's probably like Maureen. I don't know.
Lucille.
It's weird. She's so worried about her husband who's missing, but then she takes time to post that she's pregnant, and she wants to post about her unfiltered account, because once Carini laid it out there, she was getting tons of traction on her story. I don't get paid for Instagram posts. Instagram used to pay you on Reels, but they took that away months ago. So no one on Instagram gets paid for posting or reels. That's it. Like, so I'm not making not one dime on Instagram posts or whatnot.
Well, let me get out of the shower with my hair wrapped up, still in a towel, and hi, let me make a post. Like, really? That's what's on your mind. It's really not even talking about your husband, talking about you.
And let's also not forget that Carini was linked to Josh, who just faked his own death the day before that Paul went missing, or 2 days before that Paul went missing.
That's true. That is very, very, very true.
You have a 40-year-old man traipsing around the Amazon with 18-year-olds who is fighting for his kids' custody here. Like, none of it makes sense. None of it's a good look. Like, you think the court's going to be in a hurry? Oh, sure, yes. Oh, you look right as rain to be a father.
I gotta go. I can't because I'm going to say something about it. Oh, good God. It's just common sense, people. Look at all the.
And we're the suckers who believed it. So, well, me.
I told you
his
from
mom.
the beginning that it was fake. I sure did.
Then you got Carini posting that her husband's missing and possibly dead, and that another good look for court. I don't know what to say. Like, you're trying to get your kids back. I don't understand any of it. I don't. None of this makes sense. But it's Paul and Carini, so it never does it? Like, I don't know what goes with the 3 P's that they each have in their brains, what their logic behind what they pull, but you can't do this to people. It's just not right. So I don't know what more to say that I haven't said already, to be honest with you. I'm just disgusted. All I know is that me and Paul's mom shared a lot, and I feel she's the real victim here. Paul's mom. That's who you should feel sorry for. Nobody else. Because he has put that woman through hell in his 40 years of life. And by the looks of it, that will never change. I talked about the phone call on the last live. I don't want to repeat myself. I yelled at Paul and told him he needs to get his stuff together, because you're a 40-year-old man, like I just said, acting like a teenager because you're hanging out with teenagers, and you're going to go nowhere fast. You should be here in the States being a man and trying to take care of your family instead of this. Paul owes a lot of people Paul owes a lot to a lot of people. So, and we'll never get a straight answer. Look at that CMZ interview. That's as good as it's going to get. And I'm surprised we even got that, to be honest with you. Oh, I'll never trust Paul again. No, we're done. I'm done. You don't do that to people. You don't make people cry and worry about you. It's like the absolute worst thing you could do. His kids are in his cousin's care, correct? I don't know. I mean, Cody is my husband's 5 years younger than me, and there's so many things that like we don't have in common because of those 5 years. I couldn't imagine hanging out with an 18-year-old being in my 40s and having a good time. I don't know what you would talk about or do. But this woman needs to answer questions too, this Issa woman, because she's been going around saying she's calling the police, she's going from hotel to hotel looking for him. And according to Paul, he was fine the whole time. There you go. Issa tried to manipulate the situation for followers by saying Paul would speak on what happened on Issa's page. Then she makes her page private. Then there you go. So if that doesn't scream, I'm in on it too, I don't know what else does. His kids are well taken care of right now. Hopefully it stays like that. It's the point. This point of this live is not about the kids because it's not really my place to speak on them. But what I'm mad about is how this whole thing transpired. And how he could be so cavalier like Carini. Because I know when I talked to him on the phone, he never said to me, John, I was going from floating island to floating island. Those words he never told me. And I know that he told his mom that he was still sleeping in a hammock and, not out of the woods yet. Why wasn't that said? Why, when Paul talked to his mom and me on Sunday, that he said, no, it's all a big misunderstanding. I was taking a few days to myself. Those words never came out of his mouth to either of us. So it is what it is. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I am a fool. I should have believed everything people were telling me. And I'm not going to release anything else that his mom showed me, because I promised her I wouldn't. But just know, because I know how Paul is. Paul's mom asked me not to post any of the texts anymore between me and her, or what Paul sent her, or whatever. I'm not. Just know I have them. I just hate being played. And I expected. Paul probably never thought I was going to get involved. And when I put my mind to something, I'm pretty thorough. So Carini overplayed her hand. You know, it's a chess game with Paul. I know how he thinks. In my head, Paul told Carini to say I'm missing. She does. Carini overplayed her hand by saying not only was he missing, but intimating that he was gone, which led me to get involved, something they probably both didn't expect. And to anyone saying I have anything to do with this, I have it in black and white in a text that Paul sent his mom, which I almost posted just so you could see, because I'm not gonna go down on this ship. Thank you, Rachel. I forget to miss that. Thank you, Rachel. And then once I got involved and I had the cast helping me, and the embassy got involved and the police were involved, and then Paul had to, like, spring up. Because had Carini just said he was missing, I'd be like, okay, let's wait a few days, he'll pop back up. But then she overplayed her hand. And then he probably didn't expect me to be reaching out to Isos, and then they all had to start coming up with some concocted story, which still wasn't the truth. And that's why Carini, in my head, thinking about everything logically, started saying, I have nothing to do with this. This isn't me. I take no responsibility. Well, it sounds like you're guilty of something. Nobody who feels guilty of something shouldn't be posting that it's not my fault, not my responsibility if you're not in on something. Right or wrong. And, I've been allegiant to Paul and loyal to him and whatever. But even I had to call it out. I mean, it would have been very easy for me to say, thank you, Melby. It would have been very easy for me to say, oh, look, Paul's been found, case closed, the end, game over. I don't like being used by people. What are you saying, Cindy Peoples? So this is everyone else's fault. You put a story out as... See, it's people like Cindy Peoples who I can't stand. People like this woman, Cindy Peoples here, who says, Carini put the story out. Carini factually put a story out saying that Paul was missing and intimating he was deceased. Trying to become famous? I've been around for 10 years. Cindy Peoples. And actually, his mom told me that he texted her, which I guess you can't read, and said that he was in danger. Cindy Peoples. See, these are the people on the IG posts. Blind allegiance to Carini, this idiot, Cindy Peoples. Can someone block her for me? Actually, don't block her. I will love to see her next retort. Why are people trying to sweep under the rug that Carini started this? Why is no one questioning this? Why is this being covered up? Is that not suspect to anybody? There's something going on here that no one is trying to put this on Carini, who started it. Jesus, you don't have to be Perry Mason to see this. Oh, so infuriating. But Paul, you better clear this up because I'm not taking the heat for this. You could send Cindy Lou Peoples here all you want. I promised his mom I wouldn't post any more texts between him and her, but I have one that's the little one I put in my story last night so you knew what I had. So you better tell your friends to lay off me. Because I was doing this out of the goodness of my heart. And that screenshot will change you from a rooster to a hen in one shot, just like Dora Lee Rhodes said in 95. So aggravated. And now I'm debating if I should show it now. I don't know what to do. I don't want this. I'll leave it up to y'all. Because I don't want to talk about this anymore, nor do I want to post about it anymore. If I should show this screenshot. So you tell me in the chat if I should show this screenshot. I'm just reading the comments. Fine, I won't show it. I'll summarize it. Pretty much, it says, he was very upset with her. He said less than kind things to her. And he says that she shouldn't have talked to me. Bad habit, you have no idea how true that statement is. I give anything. I won't show it. You're right. I did make a promise. So I'm going to hold on to it. But it is what it is, I guess. We should just all drop it now because we're never going to get a straight answer. That day will never come. Yeah, I spoke to Edna today. I showed her the TMZ article. Paul does have bench warrants here. That's public knowledge. So I understand him not being here, I guess, because he don't want to get in trouble or go to jail or whatever. But it doesn't mean you could be doing what you're doing in Brazil and acting like a goddamn fool and making people thinking you're missing. Yeah, I can play the video interview again if you want. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. I closed it out. It's got to load. Give me a second. It's just like circling. Oh, there it is. Hold on. Don't want the ads to play. Just waiting for this ad to finish.
Was really scared that you were missing. Your family was really scared that you were missing. What exactly happened?
Well, I had a lot going on, and I wanted to go out and be by myself for a little bit. So there was a person who was a kind of a big fan of the show. They invited me to go out. So I got this like a canoe type boat, went out there. Now on the way going, we were going, kind of had a hiccup. So I got, tried to call back for help, try to get some help. They were able to rectify the situation. We got the boat going. We went up and we actually went to like a floating house. And then I actually ended up staying at a floating house for a few days. I didn't have my charger or anything, so I didn't have any
Wow,
charging
a
phone.
fan of the
My charging
show.
phone. I had to
Not only was it like a vacation, but a fan of the show invited him to this beautiful tropical getaway with floating houses and whatever. Jesus.
go around the different floating houses to finally get signal to actually call.
It seemed like your mom was really concerned about you. It seemed like maybe you had just sent her a few messages or so, letting her know that you needed help. Why didn't you elaborate more?
It was difficult because my phone didn't have a whole lot of battery on at the time. And the area was, it wasn't the best of signal, so I couldn't really call. I was able to get text messages out. That's about all I could really do.
Text messages to whom? So if he, there's no lie. So if he was sending text messages out, who are they going to?
What do you have to say to people who think that you did this just for publicity and it's a hoax?
No, if that was the case, I would have went on an Instagram live or I would have posted things. I never wanted any of this stuff to go public. None of this stuff to go public. I kept it with my mother. I had no idea my mom would go and start talking to people online and all this stuff had happened the way it did. And I got back and I saw this stuff. I was like, oh, I just wanted to get away for a little bit and everything else. And then everything just kind of blew up. But no,
So,
I never wanted this stuff to
basically,
go public.
what Paul's saying is now we ruined his vacation. You can't make this up, man. He is horrible. Oh my God, guys, we ruined his vacation. Oh my God. On his floating island house boat, whatever. That's a big fan of the show. Sent him out to. Why didn't he tell people that? Oh, y'all, I'm going on this. Some big fan of the show wanted me to come to their luxurious floating island getaway. I can't.
Like this.
Why haven't you said anything about it on your own social media, trying to clear it up?
Just with everything going on, in all honesty, I didn't want to add gasoline to all these different fires. And it seems like no matter what you say, a lot of people, these people online will twist and, twirl things around and just add gasoline. I was like, okay, I'll let everything die down. Let everybody have their fun, say whatever they want to say, speculate what they want to speculate. Everything, kind of go over, and then, I'll say my piece. But, I just don't want to add more, everybody else just jumping into the thing if it makes sense.
Shirley, how much they paying you? It was smart to say he was in danger and he effed up and he was in trouble. She sure is. So he had access to his phone the whole entire time and let everybody worry because he had access to his phone the whole entire time by making his profile public and private, reaching out and calling people via IG. I know that he called his mom on his phone on Sunday, but he called me from a weird Brazilian number. What does that tell you? Why didn't Paul call me also from his phone? Paul called me from some weird Brazilian number. If he's talking to everybody else from his phone, and he has everybody else from his phone on there, and he was living at this delightful getaway with floating houses, why did he call me from a weird Brazilian number? Because he wanted me to believe that he was still in trouble. What more is there to say, to be honest with you guys? Yep, he told his mom that he was outside in a hammock. Still not out of the woods, still in danger. Let's pray that like he makes it back. At least we heard from him. We know he's alive. Meanwhile, he's probably on this hammock getting fed grapes and fanned by, you know, the people at this resort that was feeding him. Court was yesterday. I don't know what happened. So I never want to talk about this ever again. So are we good here? I promise y'all, I will never post about him ever again. I'm not going to repeat everything. If you just join fast, you know, rewind a little bit, you'll hear my thoughts. In my opinion, it was another publicity stunt for attention that got bigger than they thought, and they had to come clean once like official embassies and police and whatever were involved. And now everything that they said, Carini, Paul, Issa, because like, you know, they're the three people in this story, were lies. All of it. Paul said, hey, y'all, I know a way that we could probably get money, in my opinion. But hey, y'all, I know a way we could all make some money. You can get some OnlyFans subscribers, and Issa, you could probably get subscribers this way, is to let's all go in on this together. And when it got away from them, because people that really thought he was missing and cared, like me and his mom and Larissa, Angela, whoever, when we all got involved, because we were getting answers, and then it got too big, and they couldn't contain it. And then I don't want to say they had to come clean, because none of them are coming clean. But that's how I see it in my head. And honestly, his poor mom was crying for days, and Paul's mom would not have gotten the authorities involved if she thought this was fake. So she's the real victim here. I mean, like, I tried to do the best I could, but feel bad for Paul's mom. But I'm going to end this. I'm over it. I should be live later on tonight if you want to talk about before 90 days at 9:30. If you want to laugh. There's nothing more I can say on this. But Carini should be held accountable. And if you do me a favor, to all these people trying to brush Carini's involvement under the rug, they need to be called out. Because I'm sorry, I'm not trying to blame everything on Carini, but had she not started this, it wouldn't have happened. So from Paul Crisis Central, for the last time, this is John Yates bidding you a fond adieu.